In a time when many have lost faith in leadership, one man in the heart of Africa is reminding us what it means to lead with purpose. On April 3, 2025, Captain Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso didn't just make an announcement, he lit a fire of hope across a continent hungry for change. While others talk, he acts. While others compromise, he dares. And once again, he has stepped forward not for power, not for praise, but for the people. His latest move, the launch of the S-24/7 Security Initiative, is more than just a program. It's a declaration that Africa can solve its own problems with its own brilliance. This is a vision born from love for the people and belief in the future, a commitment to protect, to innovate, and to rise. Traoré is proving that leadership isn't about titles, it's about service. And in this moment, Burkina Faso is not just moving forward, it's inspiring a continent to dream again. Let's celebrate this step forward, but let's also recognize this is just the beginning. We can't afford to settle. We must keep pushing, keep building, and keep rising. Because if a 37-year-old captain in Burkina Faso can shake the system and ignite hope, imagine the power we hold together across this continent. The motherland is watching, and she's ready for something new. The real question is, are we? What Captain Ibrahim Traoré just introduced with the S-24/7 security concept is bigger than tech. It's bigger than cameras or crime stats. This is about vision, about protecting the people not with fear, but with innovation and care. It's about proving that African solutions can be bold, brilliant, and people-centered. This is a clear message to every leader still clinging to power for personal gain. The game is changing. Traoré didn't wait for permission. He didn't ask for applause. He acted with courage and clarity. And in doing so, he lit a fire under a continent tired of watching dreams die in the shadows of corruption. This initiative is a call to every leader from Dakar to Dar es Salaam. What will your legacy be? For decades, we've watched wealth leave Africa while our people remain in poverty. We've seen schools collapse, hospitals struggle, and promises evaporate like morning mist. But in Burkina Faso, something different is happening. There, a leader chose to invest in the people. He chose progress over profit, protection over politics. Now imagine a little girl in a remote village going to school with hope in her heart, knowing she's protected. Imagine her parents able to earn a living without being robbed by fear or corruption. That's not fiction, it's starting to take shape in Burkina Faso. Not because of luck, but because of leadership that cares more about impact than image. Meanwhile, in too many corners of this continent, budgets disappear, projects stall, and the people are left behind. Traoré's example shines a harsh light on that failure. His leadership reminds us that real power comes from service, not self-interest. Why does this matter? Because Africa is no longer waiting for permission to rise. The world is shifting. Opportunities are moving fast. And if we don't lead with courage and clarity, we risk being left behind. Captain Traoré understands this. He's not just reimagining what Burkina Faso can be. He's showing us what Africa could be. A continent where leadership means lifting others. A continent where technology meets tradition, and where the future is not something to fear, but something to fight for. So here's the truth. This moment matters. It's bigger than Burkina Faso. It's about every nation, every village, every young African who dares to dream of a better tomorrow. Traoré has sparked something powerful. Now it's up to us to carry it forward. Are you ready? Those cameras? They mean more than just watching the streets. They're symbols of something bigger: order, progress. and a message to the world that Burkina Faso is no longer a playground for chaos. It's a sign that this is a place where things are starting to work. Meanwhile, across the continent, too many leaders are wasting their chance. Instead of building for the future, they're busy lining their pockets, buying luxury cars and holiday homes abroad while their people suffer. Every project that gets delayed or buried in red tape is another lost opportunity for the next generation. What Traoré has achieved is now holding up a mirror to the rest, showing not only what's possible, but what's being wasted elsewhere. It's proof that when leadership puts people first, transformation follows. This moment is more than just a local success. It's a direct challenge to the idea that Africa's problems are too deep, too complicated, or too overwhelming to solve. Traoré isn't waiting for the perfect time or begging for help from the West. He's taking what little he has and turning it into a shield for his people. That's real innovation. That's the same kind of courage and creativity that built kingdoms and overthrew colonizers. But while he's moving forward, too many others are stuck in reverse. They treat leadership like a jackpot, chasing bribes and kickbacks instead of real progress. They'll tell you Traoré's methods won't work in their countries, that it's too expensive or unrealistic. But that's just fear talking. Deep down, they're scared. Because what Traoré is doing proves they've been lying not just to us, but to themselves. Each time a new surveillance system goes live in Ouagadougou, it sends a message. We're building something real here. What are you doing? And that's hard to ignore unless you're willing to admit that your people come second to your comfort. But this story isn't just about leaders. It's about the everyday people who walk those streets, who are now seeing change with their own eyes. It's the mother who feels safer sending her kids to school. It's the shopkeeper who knows the police will actually respond when there's trouble. That kind of trust can't be bought with slogans, it has to be earned, one real result at a time. Now think bigger. Imagine that feeling spreading across the continent. Imagine every president, every minister taking notes from Traoré. Imagine a young farmer, a street vendor, or a student living without fear, without being robbed by criminals or cheated by the system. That's the Africa we're fighting for. But it won't come easy. It won't happen while corrupt leaders cling to power, bleeding their countries dry and pretending all is well. What Traoré has launched is a bold challenge, it says. If I can do this here, with fewer resources, under constant threat, what's stopping you? Still here? That means you're enjoying the content. Go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't already. Done? Great, let's keep going. As we bring this powerful chapter on Burkina Faso to a close, let's remember it's not just about celebrating one leader's courage. It's about turning that spark into a wildfire of change across the continent. Ibrahim Traoré's actions are not meant to be admired from afar. They're a challenge, a wake-up call to every African leader who has forgotten why they were given power in the first place. This isn't just Burkina Faso's story. It's the beginning of a movement. A call for purpose over profit, for nation-building over self-serving agendas. The S-24/7 security system is more than technology. It's a symbol of hope growing in tough conditions, proof that transformation is possible when the will to serve is real. Now, it's up to all of us to demand that same progress everywhere else, to tear out the roots of corruption and plant seeds of honest leadership that will actually care for the people. Traoré has shown us a different way forward. It's time others either follow that path or step aside. Because if they don't, the people will. And when history finally writes their story, it won't remember them as heroes. It will remember them as traitors who sold out their nations for luxury and applause from foreign masters. Africa, the time is now. The clock is ticking. The world isn't waiting, and neither should we. Across this rich, vibrant continent, something is quietly shifting. A silent rebellion is rising against the idea that Africa must always beg, must always depend, must always obey. And at the heart of this quiet storm stands Captain Ibrahim Traoré, a 37-year-old visionary, soldier, and son of the soil, refusing to let Burkina Faso be held hostage by the same systems that have failed Africa for generations. Traoré doesn't just represent youth, he represents bold leadership, the kind that says no more to begging for loans with strings attached. He's leading a new era, one where African leaders stop going abroad with empty hands and start building with what they already have. For too long, African governments have flown around the world like desperate merchants, asking for aid while sitting on mountains of gold, oil, fertile land, and brilliant minds. Institutions like the IMF and World Bank, dressed up as helpers, have only tightened the chains, offering loans with rules that damage economies, dictate policies, and steal futures. But Captain Traoré broke that cycle. Since taking office in 2022, he's rejected handouts from the West and focused on what matters most, his people and their potential. He made it clear, Africa doesn't need the IMF, the World Bank, or permission from Europe and America to rise. And he's walking the talk. In just 2 years, Burkina Faso's economy jumped from $18.8 billion to over $22 billion without begging, without piling on debt. He cut down government waste by slashing ministerial salaries by 30%, while boosting civil servants' pay by 50%, making sure everyday people feel the impact. He paid off internal debts and kept money circulating within the country, instead of handing it over to greedy lenders or corrupt insiders. And he's building for the future. With new tomato and cotton processing plants, Traoré is turning Burkina Faso from a raw resource exporter into a nation that adds value to what it produces. That's not just good economics, it's economic independence. It's a blueprint for every African country tired of being stuck in the same cycle. In 2023, he introduced a cutting-edge gold refinery, stopping the export of raw gold to Europe and ensuring its value stays within the country. These actions mirror the bold vision of Thomas Sankara, the legendary leader of Burkina Faso, whose ideals are carried on by Traoré. In contrast, many African nations continue to bow to Western powers, trading their independence for foreign aid. The IMF and World Bank have trapped countries in cycles of debt, with nations like Zambia and Ghana spending more on debt repayments than on vital sectors like healthcare and education. In 2022, African governments spent $68 billion paying foreign creditors money that could have been invested in infrastructure, education, or healthcare. Meanwhile, Western countries continue to extract Africa's resources at unfair prices, leaving behind environmental damage and empty promises. This isn't aid, it's exploitation disguised as charity. Traoré's approach demonstrates that Africa has everything it needs right within its borders. The continent holds 30% of the world's mineral resources, vast agricultural potential, and a young, ambitious population ready to push forward. So why do leaders keep begging when they could be building? The problem lies in a mix of greed, fear, and a lingering colonial mindset that sees the West as a savior instead of an oppressor. Too many African leaders still dance to the tune of foreign powers, as Traoré pointed out at the 2023 Russia-Africa Summit. We need to stop acting like puppets, pulled by imperialist strings. Investing in our own people has clear benefits. In Burkina Faso, Traoré's government has brought mobile clinics to rural areas, installed solar-powered vaccine refrigerators, and launched free cataract surgeries, tangible improvements that directly impact lives. His agricultural program, which includes distributing 400 tractors and high-quality seeds, is aiming for food self-sufficiency by the end of the year. This sets a powerful example for other countries that still import basics like rice and wheat, even though their own farmers are struggling. By keeping wealth and decision-making at home, Traoré has restored a sense of dignity and self-reliance among the Burkinabe people, proving that sovereignty is more than just a slogan, it's a practice. Other African leaders should take note. Nigeria, with its vast oil reserves, could refine its own petroleum instead of exporting crude and importing costly fuel. Kenya, a leader in tech innovation, could harness its young, tech-savvy workforce to build local industries instead of depending on foreign investment. South Africa, with its industrial capacity, could prioritize local manufacturing rather than exporting raw materials. The path is clear, and Traoré has shown the way. All it takes is the courage to follow. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Thank you.